Sparking Change with Gigi, a show that aims to make the world a better place by bringing together authentic minds. This show encourages each of us to be the change we wish to see in the world. Get ready to be inspired and join us on this journey to create a brighter future for all.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Sparking Change with Gigi. And today I am your host, Giovanna Tarderone. And today we're going to be talking about creating, living, and leaving a legacy. And my guest, Natalie McQueen. Welcome, Natalie.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you for coming. And, we met during our adventure of Soul of a Diamond book launch. And we connected heart to heart because we both have had experiences that we now see life so precious. But, what did we learn from it and what do we want to do now? We truly want to leave a legacy. We understand how important it is to leave a legacy. And you just opened my heart, you opened my eyes. And I said, you know what, I need to share you with the world because we're not alone, right? A lot of people want to leave a legacy, but how do they do it? Where do they start? And you came into my life for a purpose, and I want to share your wisdom and knowledge with the world and how we can all do this because we're all part of this world and we all want to truly leave a legacy. So please go ahead and tell us about yourself and what you do.
Awesome. Well, I feel the same way. It was such an amazing time to come together, and that was my first time in New York. So the energy and all the craziness, it was wonderful. But having the time to bond with you and get to know you better and your heart and what you do was fantastic.
Thank you.
So my name is Natalie McQueen, and I live in Phoenix or North Scottsdale, Arizona. We've been here since 1995. We've raised our two daughters here. And in 2016, my husband and I went on a family vacation, family with his sister and husband and his parents. And I ended up having a near-death experience and got sucked under a cliff in an undertow. And I actually fought for my life for over an hour. It was something that, when you go through something like that, you come out and you're so grateful. You're like, it wasn't my time. I've got better things and bigger things to do. And at the time, I was publishing people's stories, getting them out to the world. I had probably helped over 500 authors become international bestseller at that time, and really engaging with them to share, to be authentic, share their stories, not be afraid to share the good, the bad, the ugly, and connect with the audiences, right? And then here this thing happened to me, and I hadn't written my own book. I had been in a compilation book before that, but I came out with gratitude. And then a couple weeks later, it really changed to, holy cow.
Yeah.
Other words, but we'll keep it at that. Yes. I might not have survived this. And what would be the things I would have regretted? So it was, our will's not updated. Oh, all the family pictures are on my computer and no one knows the password because I change it all the time. Right? What about my writing or my things on the computer that I would love to share with my family? What about the automatic payments that I store in Google or Apple for all my pictures on my phone? And if they stop that card, those pictures would be gone as well. So who knows the automatic payments? Who knows the passwords? And then what hit me the hardest is I was thinking, what were the last conversations I had with my daughters? And do they know how much I love them? And do they know, what I would want to say as they grew older and maybe had graduated and a first baby, or, had a hard time in life and something? Would they know what I would have said? Would they know that I was there for them?
Mhm.
And so I really thought about that and realized I need to get my message out. Other people need to think about, we're not guaranteed tomorrow, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say, when you had this wake up call to say, oh my goodness,
Mhm.
like what's really important, no one really knows because I don't have it anywhere.
Right.
And yes, they may celebrate me, but they're
Yep.
really not knowing how I felt about them.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely. So after that, I created my company called Gifts of Legacy, and I've made it my mission to help people to create a legacy, live a legacy, and then leave a legacy, and in so many different ways. Everyone's individual. Some people say, I've got so much knowledge and wisdom for the world. I want
Yeah.
to, write a book, and I want it to be out there globally. And other people say, I'm very private. I want this just for my family. So I do legacy books, like the one for my, if you see this beautiful lady here,
Yeah.
that's my grandma. And we did one on her 100th birthday. And then she wrote her own book at 104. And she will
Wow.
be 105 this August. And she's
God
still
bless.
going.
My
Right?
goodness.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's an example. When I sent her, I finally wrote my book. When I sent her a copy, she said, "Oh my gosh, this inspired me so much." And I had thanked her
Hmm.
because she had, one of her superpowers was to make everybody feel that they were the number one grandchild or the number one person
How
that mattered.
beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. So it was kind of funny at her 100th birthday party. We some of the cousins were chatting, and we were laughing because we're like, "No, I'm the favorite. No, I'm the favorite. No." So we all thought that we were the favorite, but that was her superpower, right?
Yeah.
And so having little ways, if you're not into writing a book, what if you could dig through the boxes of pictures in your garage and dig out the 10 top pictures per child or per spouse or whatever, and just record yourself talking about the memories and what that meant to you,
Yeah.
and then put them somewhere where they will be found. And that it was very important to me to find companies that are doing it right.
Hmm.
And I have a company that I partnered with that helps you save your videos, your pictures, and everything for your lifetime and 100 years. And you must have a beneficiary on the account so somebody knows
Sure.
it's
That's
there,
so beautiful.
right?
That's so beautiful. You know what I do? What I'm hearing from you now is that you essentially found your purpose.
Mm, absolutely.
And because I can feel it, and I can see the passion that you have in creating this stuff. So through your own journey,
Mhm.
you've had your own wake up call to say, okay, what do I want to leave when I'm gone to my girls? And
Right.
I will tell you, from on the personal side, my mom died when I was 30.
Mhm.
So not having something like that, I mean, if
Right.
I did have something like that, I would, embrace it every day, and just to like hear her voice,
Right.
because you feel like you're always connected, in a very special way. So I know what you're doing absolutely impact lives for sure, to
Absolutely.
always keep their loved ones alive.
You're so right with the voice, because when if you could picture, you know, looking down at your child, no matter what age they are,
Mhm.
and give them an empowering, this is how I see you. I love this in you. And just give them a video of love and inspiration. Who wouldn't want to play that every day, right?
But yeah, and not only that, it's a message of hope, love, faith,
Mhm.
strength. So should they be going through something, they can
Right.
hear that beautiful message
Yeah.
to give them the strength to keep going, right? No matter what.
Yeah.
It what you do totally is very a connection,
Mhm.
a bond that will last forever.
Yeah. The other thing too, in kind of going through my own self, like, so how do I get this message out? What would um, help people to,
Mhm.
because not everyone, and I was one of these people, not everyone says, oh, I want to write a book. I was like,
Right.
I'll publish your book, but I don't need to write a book. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so that's, I did a line of journals to help people, and it doesn't have to be my line of journals. Get yourself a journal and just sit that quiet time in the morning and reflect on, you know, the gratitude that you have for the people in your life, and what are the goals. And what I talk about is your legacy list. Don't wait till you're like 90 and look back and go, oh, I said I wanted to do this, or I
Right.
really wish I would have, graduated as this. Write down and think of everything you want to accomplish, everything you want to be remembered for, because people will say that, I want to be remembered in my community as someone that, gave or gives back. And then I say, so how are you giving back to the community now? And they say, oh, I'm not yet. Well, they're not going to remember you that
Right.
way
Right.
unless you
Right.
take those
Right.
actions, right? That's where I help people to really stop and think about what they want to be remembered for and how they want to be remembered, and then reverse backwards, reverse engineer, and create that
Mhm.
life you want to live, and create and start living it. Put those actions in to your
I
daily or
love
weekly.
that. I love that because, so many people don't know what they want.
Right.
But if you ask the question, what do you want to be remembered? How do you want to be remembered?
Yeah.
And you're reversing engineering that, you're actually helping them find their purpose
Right.
through
Yep.
this process. So that is so beautiful.
Thank you. Another thing too is with the travel, right? We all say, oh, someday I want to go to Italy. Someday I want to, if
Mhm.
you don't kind of set some parameters and say, okay, I'll sit down, I'll plan what I would like to do in Italy. Okay, it looks like that's going to be $15,000. Maybe it's in your budget, maybe it's not. If it's not, how could I create that budget so I can make that happen, right? And
Right.
maybe it's taking an extra shift a week and you put that into your savings. There's
What you just reminded me is like people, having a desire, right? They
right.
have a strong desire to do
Yes.
something, but they don't know where to start. And the first step is really writing it down,
Mhm. It
claiming it, right? What we say is tell the
is.
universe, we
Yeah.
want to go to Italy. Let's make
Yep.
this happen this year, right?
Exactly.
And once you do that, and just there is a sense of connection when you're writing it.
Yes.
I remember my
And you
mentor,
feel it,
right?
you
Because you
know,
feel it.
especially if you get on and you look and you plan it as if you're planning it, like which hotel. Oh, are you staying at the five-star hotel with those sheets that are like amazing? You know?
Like create your fantasy, right?
Right. Is
Create it,
that
use your
pizza
imagination.
at the
Yeah.
little, pizza place, the most authentic Italian pizza that you've ever tasted?
You're making me
Take
hungry.
yourself there. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the with your books, they can literally go back to that experience.
Yes. Yep. That's
And
why I think journaling is such a powerful tool. And you could do one journal. Like I have multiple journals.
So do
I have
I.
journals for just gratitude. I have journals for my legacy list.
Mm-hmm.
I have journals for problem solving, because that you're so right. When you put it out there and you have no idea how to figure that out, like let's just take something easy. I need a website created with a payment system. I have no idea how to do that. And you just put it down on paper, think about it, you're putting it out to the universe.
That's right.
And guess what? You're probably going to run into someone that can help you, or, have some resource run into that day even.
Absolutely. And and thinking about that, when you put something out there to the universe, if it is for the goodness of all, if you're doing it to impact many, the universe listens.
Yeah.
Universe, I call it God, universe, infinite intelligence, it's listening, because even through the leaving a legacy, your legacy is you impacting tons of people.
Yeah.
And never being forgotten.
Yeah. Here's something that I've worked with a few people, and it's made such a difference in their life. We're in the age of divorce and merged families together and stuff. And I worked with a gentleman that he had kind of a broken relationship with his daughter, but he always wanted to be remembered as that dad would be there for their children, and just that support system.
Yes.
So we put together a plan, kind of reverse engineer, and work backwards of how could he make that relationship strong again, and what would be. And honestly, it was him and his own calendar that were in the way of making that time for the daughter. And they just started by texting, let's just meet for a drink, let's go out for an ice cream. And it slowly built as a stronger relationship. And now they're taking trips together as, happy father-daughter. And now he's feeling that how he will be remembered will be so much different if he didn't take those steps.
Right. And I could just see the gratitude that he has. Should anything happen, that book is there, the legacy is there on what he's done. Wow,
we get caught in our, what I call the hamster wheel of life, right? It is what it is. I get up in the morning, I do my thing, I come home, I eat dinner, watch TV, go to bed. And we just repeat a day after day.
And 95% of what we do, and I teach this, 95% of what we do on a daily basis, if you go back, it is absolutely the same.
Yep.
So we're working on our programs.
Right.
And if we want to do something different, we need to step out and create a new program.
Totally. And that's what's so cool is people don't realize where you are now is what you created. So you get to create anything you want in this lifetime. So sometimes that's a little scary.
Right.
It's so exciting. And that's where, creating your legacy list and picking, say, the top 3 things and just making action steps towards those, right?
Absolutely. Let's take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back and talk about these action steps.
Perfect.
Awesome. We'll be right back, everyone.
Now, the vast majority, approximately 95% of the people of all countries, go around and around without aim or purpose. They drift with the circumstances of life, good or bad.
A drifter is one who permits himself to be influenced and controlled by circumstances outside of his own mind.
Whereas the successful individuals create their own circumstances and ride them to victory.
When you're on purpose, you're living on purpose. You will never quit if you have a real purpose.
A burning desire to be and to do is the starting point from which the dreamer must take off. But what I have done has been recorded, it's been tested, it's being taken to a free world, and it's going to benefit millions of people who are not yet born.
And it's going to benefit millions of people who are not yet born. We're some of those people. That we're spreading this to the world. As your awareness grows, the doubt is gone, so that you can manifest whatever it is your heart desires. Isn't that beautiful?
That was the perfect commercial.
It always speaks the truth, because truly, when we find our purpose and we start taking action to really make an impact in this world, because it's all about whose lives are we touching. When you're leaving a legacy, you're leaving the memories of the lives that you've impacted.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the action steps.
Absolutely. I want to address one thing. This is what I run into, especially with women. We belittle our legacy and think it's not worthy of, putting a lot of effort in to pass it along. And that is such a mistake, because it is the stay-home mom that's cutting heart-shaped peanut butter sandwiches and going to the school and doing the reading groups, excuse me, and being there for that skin knee and being there for that hug when it's needed. Those are the things that make the people that are the next generation is going to do whatever. So you don't have to be the person standing on stage talking to
Absolutely
to make an impact. And that's what I want people to understand. Every day in your family, your community, your, as big as you want to go, you are making impact.
Absolutely. It's those little things that we think are no big deal, that you can change someone's life just by saying, you look beautiful today, or, have a wonderful day, and smile. Exactly. And people think, oh, you need to buy flowers, or you need to, use outside objects to make people happy. It doesn't take that. It just takes really what we have inside is to share the love and compassion to people. And this is where you make the big difference. So your stories are definitely connected to the moms who, like you were saying, who go to school and read a book or just help the teacher out. I used to, as an educator, I had the classroom mom, and how grateful was I. And the child was like, oh my God, mommy's here, and to leave that memory for that child.
Yep.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yep. So you want to talk about the first steps?
Yeah. Like where do people start to really create this legacy book?
So we don't have a ton of time to go through the whole thing, but we'll do kind of a speed round.
Sure.
So I have like a blueprint, and the first part is to really analyze where you are now, and what things are working really well and what things aren't, and then going through that legacy list and really thinking, if I were to die in a week from now, would I be happy, or would I have a ton of regrets? My motto is don't leave a mess, leave a legacy. So would you be leaving your family in a mess, or would you be leaving with heartfelt messages left behind? They knew the role that you were in their life and appreciate it. And of course, death is never easy. And people say, oh, isn't it hard to talk about death all the time? It's going to happen either way. Either we're
here temporarily
or we're not. And I'm going to share a little story that really impacted me beyond, and it's actually a chapter in my book. I had a friend, Darlene, and she was just a loving, giving person. She did massages, and she always smelled of essential oils. Oh, she smelled so good all the time. And she was one of these people that would just come up and just rub your neck. She could just feel your energy and just love on you no matter what.
Yeah.
So she ended up with cancer and went downhill fairly quickly. And she decided, I don't want a funeral. I want a live party. And she was on oxygen at this point, and she said, whoever can come, come. And I want to tell stories. I want to hear their stories. I want to hear how I impacted their lives.
Wow.
And so they had her cozy on the couch with her oxygen and blankets, and it was a potluck. Everyone brought a ton of food, and right around, like in this big room where she was sitting, was like a whole, almost a rainbow of chairs. And you came in and you would start at the first chair. And at that first chair, it would be like, hi, this is how I know her. This is the fun times that I've had with her. And you tell a story or two or how she's impacted your life. And then you move to the next chair. And then the person sitting down will share their stories. Well, we laughed, we cried, we celebrated her life, we celebrated the type of person she was. And over, you looked and you're like, wow, she impacted so many lives in so many different ways. That's what's cool. She was a mom to this. She was a grandma to this. She was an ex-wife. She had actually 2 ex-husbands show up. So the marriage didn't work, but they still had such a fond, loving attachment to her.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something that that was very impactful, because I saw most of us, think we want a funeral and we pass and we don't get to hear all this. And maybe you do, I don't know.
Yeah. In the spirit world.
Exactly. But what a celebration and a peacefulness of her to be able to just be surrounded by all the energy of everyone that loved her so much and told funny stories. And oh my gosh, some of the stories were just hilarious. And so she laughed, and she was so at peace. And you would just make your way around the circle, and then you get up and there was people standing in the back listening, and it was just an incredible thing. And that really made me realize we need to work at letting the people that's in our life now know how much we appreciate them, know how much we love them, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, wait.
Absolutely. I believe it's Dr. Wayne Dyer that says, don't die with your music still in you.
Yes.
And what does that mean? That truly means live your legacy. Not only leave a legacy, but live a legacy.
Yep.
And, like you said, we're on this hamster wheel that we really forget to live because we're so busy doing. And we don't take time to actually enjoy what God has given us because we're very busy. And by the time you know it, when your clock is up, you look back and you're like, what have I done in my life? What have I not done?
Right.
Is really what we're saying here.
Thing.
Right. And so when we're tapping into what have I not done, I feel like you said, we don't give ourselves enough credit to step out of the box.
Right.
To really discover our purpose, our passion. What do we love to do? Because we're so busy.
Right.
And I truly feel that what you do and the work that you do, Natalie, helps people to see that.
Right.
Helps people to say, I would love to do this, or,
And most of the stuff that I get people to think about, it's not rocket science. It's just simple things that you're like, oh, I could do that. And here's another example.
Yeah.
Have you ever just got a text from either a friend you haven't talked to in a while, or, a son, daughter, and it just makes your day? You're like, oh,
yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So why not do that for people every day? So I do a challenge that you write down 30 people that have made an impact in your life, or that, that you would love to have a better relationship with, or continue the better relationship. And once a day, type a text of just, hey, I just want you to know, I just so appreciate that you're in my life. I love the time we spend together, or, whatever you want to share with them. It could be a funny story. It could be a joke. It can be anything, but just thinking about you today. Hope you're having an amazing day. Love you,
Yeah.
send it out. You're going to make that person's day. They're going to be like, this is so great. I love this.
You
Just
remind me of
shining that light. And I love your sparking change, right? How it literally would take you less than a minute to do that, because you could even talk it, then your heart's in it, and send it and make someone's day.
I love that. It just reminded me when I have a cat, so I love my cat, so people know that.
Right?
So I have friends, sending me a cat meme with something funny, and I'm like, "Ugh," and I'm hysterical. I'm like, I needed this right now, because I
Right.
wanted whatever I was doing, but it was too much, or I wasn't taking time for myself. And you get something like that
Yeah.
to break, whatever you're doing, to give yourself a little laughter, or just that's time for you, right? It's time to take a moment for yourself, and that's what that does, and it's so beautifully said. I love that challenge.
Yeah.
Great thing you do.
Maybe we should do some challenges together.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm all about making, this, being kind and giving someone that, like you said, the light,
Right.
because you have no idea what's going on in someone's life. I learned through my life, and just through training and really understanding, looking at life differently, that if we can do 4 things in life, and I'm going to try to remember these 4 things, and practice them, which is always love yourself
Yep.
first, right? Always know that you're important to someone's life, and to your own life. Your own life is important. Forgive others.
That's so important.
Don't judge, because you don't know what's going on in people's lives.
That is so important too, because you're exactly right. When we look and we see a scenario, you don't know what the whole scenario is.
Exactly. And be intentional. Be intentional with what we do. And even a book like this, you're intentionally writing your life script.
Mm-hmm.
You're intentionally planning a life that you want, regardless of what's going on outside of you. I believe that there is an important message here. When you do create your legacy, you're writing your life script, basically.
I agree.
And if you can live it and then preserve it, now you're giving your wisdom to someone else who thinks that they can't do it, whether it be a family member or. So I love that.
I do too. So I'm trying to find a quote. It's in my book, and it's by Karen Hoyos, and it's spiritual and scientific sources have found that currently only 1% of the world's population is fully living their life's purpose. And they discovered a formula projecting that when this percentage increases to 3%, the entire planet will be shifted to a level of consciousness where peace will be possible.
Wow.
When I thought of that,
wow.
It's like, if we're looking at 1% and we only have to go to 3%, what if everyone did that rhythm every day of trying to spread smiles, trying to spread, a message of hope, love, appreciation, and they passed it on? What about if you're baking cookies and you put a couple, in a Ziploc bag and run it over to some neighbors? Like, it's no big deal. You already made the cookies.
And we don't think that way. Why? Because we're busy.
So
we're
busy
so busy
on that hamster wheel of life, right?
That's it. And when we realize and we stop, and it's funny because when something tragic happens, everybody can stop.
Yes. You're
You
so,
know, if I had a relative that died, okay, everything had to put on hold,
Yep.
and now we had to go to the funeral. But we don't put anything on hold for ourselves.
Yep.
And you know that when we are constantly on the run and not taking time for ourselves, we definitely can't take time for others.
Right.
So now the connection and the relationships are all impaired because you don't have time to sit and have a cup of coffee and
Right.
really enjoy each other, right? So all of this is so important to our well-being. Like living a legacy, creating a legacy is all for our well-being.
Yep. So once you start analyzing where you are and really the places that you're happy or not happy, then take that time to reflect on how you would like it to be. So just an example of say you're in a marriage and you're like, it was so good, but now it's like not really good. And I would love it to be good. So you're analyzing that you want it to be better. You're reflecting and saying, I do want it to be better. So how could I make it better? And then you're creating a new normal. And that could be, hey, I'm going to send my husband a text every day for the next 30 days on the little things I do appreciate of him. I'm going to invite him to a date night that I plan. You know, it could be the little things that, you know, you were on that hamster wheel of life and you've just got off the importance of
Express train.
exactly. Yeah. Well, it's so easy when you have a lot of kids and you're just caught up in life drama to just take advantage of our spouses and not make that time for them. And then the next thing is, because we're so busy, it's hard to just put something in an already busy schedule. So that's where you look that there's, and I have it in my book and I don't remember the exact number, but the amount of time per day that people spend on TV alone is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know? And so what if you even cut back an hour a day and put in that hour a day doing something creative, writing your book, planning a date night. It can be whatever you want to change, but you have to take something out of your calendar if it's already busy, or you're not going to stick to it. It really has to be, I want to prioritize this, intentional. And then when it's on your calendar, you pretend that is the most important appointment that you have on your calendar. So nothing else, a phone call or whatever, you're not going to go, oh, it's okay, I'll do it later. It is, oh, hey, you know what? At 4 to 5, I've got an appointment. I cannot be late. I can talk to you after 5. And you make that a priority. And when you're consistent with that and you activate it, you actually do it, you're going to see the beautiful things that start happening in your life. You're going to see those changes, and it may not be instant, right? You don't go, like, say you were married for 30 years. You don't go from happy to unhappy in a week. It's been a lot, the little things that maybe are missing. So you can go backwards and, you know, try to do some repair, try to have
step at a time
fun together. Exactly. And this could be anything. This could be, I want to go on a trip. Plan your trip, figure out the budget. If you need more money, figure out how you're going to create that money to do that.
It's setting a goal intentionally, like you're saying, setting it so that you can see it. And again, you can see it and start creating the change. Because if you don't write it down, change is not easy. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
Right? Change is not easy, especially when you're doing something for 20, 30 years and now you have to build in a new pattern, a new habit.
Right.
But it can be done if you commit to yourself, if you make it a goal and say, no matter what. I mean, how many people have achieved so many things in life that they never thought they could achieve? It's having that strong desire. I mean, we teach this at the Napoleon Hill Institute with the programs that we, offer. It's all about making a decision, make a decision, stick to it, have that burning desire, and with faith in God in your life, anything is possible. Anything is
Exactly.
possible.
And that's where, you can do little things like a vision board, and people say, well, I don't have time to go out and cut pictures. And you can do a vision board in Canva, pull up a thing and then take pictures. You can actually upload pictures if you want a better relationship with your daughter or your husband or whatever. Put those top 3 things there and then everything that goes along with it. So you can have a visual that, I don't want to be 80 and look back and go, why didn't I do those little steps every day or every week or, whatever it takes? You don't want to be someone that has that. There's many older people that I've spoke with, and they look back and they have those regrets, but they also, it's kind of I had it as a desire, but I just wiped it away because, it just didn't happen. But in their hearts that they wish they could have. And if you could make it happen, it would have changed how they felt about themselves, right? Because it's almost a little failure. And it internally.
And you know what? And it needs, so the work that you do is not only guiding them to do this, but also helping them to see their desires and, what they would want to do and bring their life, what they want in life, bring it into this book.
Yep.
And all they have to do is kind of create how they're going to do what they really want.
Right. I did a workshop and one of the gentlemen got hold of me probably a couple months later. And he said, just from your workshop, I listened and I made my new legacy list. And then I looked at the humdrum hamster wheel job I was doing and a couple other things in his life. And he changed his job. He changed how he was dealing with money so he could funnel more money into the things that he wanted to do.
Love that.
And it's like, wow, he could have kept doing what he was doing and then look back with those regrets. Or he made a few simple changes. Now he feels better about himself. He's excited because he's working towards some major goal that he wants to do. And when he accomplishes it, he's going to be like, yeah, I did it. I can create anything. And that's what I want people to realize.
Absolutely.
You have full control to create the destiny that you want and then preserving. So create it, then live it, but then preserve it. Think of the trials, the things that you've gone through in your life, that you major challenges or upsets in your life or mistakes you've made. And then what did you learn from those? So could you share that story? Could be in a video, could be written in a journal. Could you share that with your family or the world and help other people to go, oh, yep.
I love that.
I was thinking about that myself. You could either educate people. They could see pros and cons and go, okay, well, I'm going to still do that, but I'm not going to do this, this, and this because I see that path. I'm going to change it to this, this, and this. So you could actually help people make better decisions with what they're doing.
Absolutely. I think when we look at people who've done it already, I believe it's Tony Robbins that says success leaves clues.
Right.
Well, it's in the books, read and read. You will get the messages. If you really have a strong desire to do something, there's someone out there that has done it already.
Yes. And the other thing I really, really tell people to take on, and they can figure it out so it works for them, is have a morning routine that gives you time to think, journal, then act on a few of those goals that need to be done, exercise. Sometimes we're so busy and it's so easy to push off the important things. But that's one of the things I struggle with is if I want to travel all over the world, I need to keep my body fit and healthy.
Yes.
So I can do that, and I've struggled with a knee that I'm like, okay, stop it. We're going to travel the world. So,
and
yeah.
it's true because, I remember prior to changing my career, there was no time to sit down. I never even thought of sitting down and writing a gratitude journal. I'm being totally honest. It was like, okay, kids, let's go. We're going to miss the bus. Let's go. And, it was all about outside.
Mm-hmm.
It was never about me.
Right.
And now that my life has changed and it's about me, I have that inner peace. Not that it's like I don't care about the outside, but it's I come first. Now I come first to give myself the acknowledgement that I have things I want to accomplish before I go. I want to impact lives before I go. And through this work that I'm doing here, I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to do it.
Right.
And it just, there's an inner knowing that you're on the right path.
Yeah. Well, and for those busy moms, like you said, many of us have been there.
Mm-hmm.
I swear it is so worth. I mean, I know as a mom, your sleep is precious, but if you could get up half an hour earlier, then you know that all hell is going to break loose.
Yes, yes.
And just have a few moments of silence, prayer, meditation, grounding, and just journaling. It connects to your subconscious. It connects you to your heart, and you feel so much more grounded and strong to take on the day.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. It's for me, it's like my vitamins for the day.
Right.
I must take those vitamins for the day in order to have a better day. And also, before you go to bed, think about what you want in the morning, and you go to sleep with those thoughts that you just wrote down.
Yes.
And again, Dr. Wayne Dyer is my favorite guy. And he says, go ahead and cook in those thoughts for 8 hours, 7 hours, whatever time you're sleeping, so that you can wake up and you have exactly like the ideas will come to you on how to get those things accomplished.
Yep. Well, that you reminded me of another challenge I do. I have a gratitude rock sitting right on my nightstand. Okay. And so the very last thing when I get into bed, I rub that rock and I just kind of contemplate on the amazing things that happened today, the things I'm grateful for.
Beautiful.
And exactly, like you could think about whatever you want to, have in your dreams. And I put it in that rock and then I set it aside, and then we always do a sleep meditation. And off we go.
So that's so beautiful to end the day like that.
Yeah. So find yourself a rock.
Yeah.
And just put it by your bedside and love onto that rock and put all your gratitudes and everything into that rock and set it right beside.
I think having gratitude, and I know practicing gratitude every day would just open up more doors.
Oh, for sure.
Right. And
well, when you come into any situation, good or bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's easy when a situation is good to see all the gratitude. But what we don't understand is sometimes those challenges, like I look at my near-death experience, right? Yeah. Almost drowning, almost not being able to be a mom anymore for my children. And I look at, wow, if that hadn't have happened, I was on that hamster wheel of life, right?
Oh my goodness.
There
So
was so many things that I was putting aside and not doing myself. There were so many things that I felt unprepared in if my life were to ever end. Um, and so now it's given me a business to share my message with others,
Mhm.
a chance to be more organized and ready in case anything happens, and then a way to share my heart and my appreciation for the people in my life, and just, try to make a difference, try to find others. That's my passion. I love to find others like yourself that are doing good things in this world and trying to make the world a better place. Because what is a challenge is when you run into people that are just zoned in on the news and the negativity, and they're
Yeah.
walking around with this dark cloud over them, and that's what the energy they're putting out, right?
Absolutely.
So even in those dark moments, you can look and you can see that neighbor that is picking up your newspaper while you're on vacation, or the police, the local police that are keeping you safe, on and on and on. The people in your family that do the things every day, but you're just so used to it that you forget to turn and say, "Hey, thank you. I love that you clean up your clothes. I
Yeah.
love that you don't leave dishes in the sink," right? It's little things.
Little things like that. But in life we have choices.
Yeah.
Life is made of lots of choices, and we can either choose to see what is great with life, what is good with life, or what is bad with life.
Yep.
But also we can choose to change it if we don't like it, because it's our perception that we label good or bad,
Exactly. Oh, you're so right there.
right?
Yes.
So it's how we view things that can change, but change has to come from within, because it's how we feel inside that we can see the outside good or bad,
Yep.
a given situation.
That is so true. And so when we're caught up in those difficult times,
Mm-hmm.
can go down that path of, I mean, you look at the suicide rates, you look at how, and nothing is permanent, no matter how um, bad it looks now. Tomorrow can be different. An hour from now can be different if you take
Yes.
control of your thoughts. If you kind of sit down, I go back to the journal all the pros and cons,
Mm-hmm.
journal how, or ask questions. How can I get out of this situation? What is the best way for me to, go forward?
Yeah.
And stuff. And it can literally change your mindset that, "Oh, I see a little hope there. I see," and ask for help, right?
You just said the magic word, ask for help, because that's one thing that people don't like to do, is ask for help. And I do feel that anyone would never decline helping someone,
Exactly.
and when we're in that mindset of everything is wrong and we can't see, and we're in the dark and we can't see the light is there. It's always been there. It's just our thoughts and everything that's going on brings us to the darkness. And
Mhm.
therefore, what are we putting out to the world? Hate,
Yeah.
scared, envy, jealousy, all the
Sure.
low vibration emotions that truly affect us as a whole.
Right.
So I think once people find their purpose, their passion, and this is what the work that you do and you help people do. So you have a big job in your hands for sure, Natalie.
It's so fun to just open people's minds, like, you get to create what you want to create, not what I want you to do, what you want to do, right?
And I study Bob Proctor, and his famous question is, what do you want?
Mhm.
Make a decision on what you want, because you can have it, because you know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, it's going to come to you. Don't worry about it. Just make a decision.
Yeah.
And this is how, when we make a decision and we impact lives, this is what we do. We leave a legacy.
Yeah.
So
I'm
any
going to
final
say
words?
Yes. One last thing that's just on top of that is many of us have beliefs that we hold on to
Mhm.
and expectations from others that we're afraid to let down. And that's where working on that stuff and letting it go and being okay to not follow that belief anymore if it doesn't serve you, and not worrying about if you don't and you go on your own path, what they're going to do or
What
say.
they're gonna say.
Hey,
Yeah, that's right.
your life. It's your life.
That's right.
We need that song now.
It's your life for sure. And when you're happy though, and they see you happy, they're gonna change.
Absolutely.
You're miserable, you're making them miserable.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can't give love if you don't have love.
Mhm.
So it's all about, loving yourself first, creating a life that you love so you can share with others and enjoy. I call it it's time capsule because it's going to expire, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I love it.
So, but thank you so much, Natalie. And how can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, I think the best way is on Facebook. I have a group. It's called Create Your Legacy Life. And I do tips on publishing, but I do tips on how to live your life better. And then I have guests on my little show. It's called Your Legacy Stories. And it's really interviewing people that are making the world a better place.
Beautiful. Just along the line like I just did with you. Thank you so much. All right. Well, thank you so much for everybody for joining us. Thank you, Natalie, for being here with me. I am blessed to share your message. And until next time, we'll see you next week, everybody. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change with Gigi. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week on Sparking Change with Gigi.